here today. Even though it was yesterday that we agreed the budget defense. Please welcome to the House of Representatives. Of course, my colleagues too, I want to especially thank you for making our time to be present at this budget defense session. Now, can quickly take the defense of the 2019 budget from the Office of the Auditor-General. Please, we need some quiet so that you can hear hear ourselves, please. So we welcome you to this session. As we are aware that the budget defense session is an annual event that all agents of government must appear before the superintending committees in the National Assembly for you to defend what is in the proposal for the year, and particularly for this year 2019.
Thank you.
Mr. President presented the budget on your behalf sometime in December 2018. And of course, this budget has been committed to the committees, for the agents of government to come and, have a defense, of this proposal. You are aware that last year you were here, and of course we had the same session, and a lot of the things we had to do was try to create some innovation, in the intention or the aim of your office. Over the years, we have seen that the Office of the Auditor-General Federation, even with the intention of having to, check corruption, from the beginning, it has always been underfunded. Only last year we tried to cause a difference, and of course, for the special leave of the leadership of the National Assembly, we have to ensure that some funds were approved for you or appropriated, so that we're able to meet up the challenges of your office. By the time you do the defense, before you do the defense of 2019, of course we're going to have an appraisal, for last year, to be able to see your budget performance and see if that was able to, meet some of, the objectives for which those appropriations were made. Public Accounts Committee, as you know, is the committee in the National Assembly or in Parliament, that has to check, that there's transparency and accountability in the economy in spending public funds. And your office, the Auditor General's office, is the only, office, the executive side too, that is supposed to, ensure too that there's probity, the transparency, spending public funds. The onus really, or the responsibility of doing this is huge. What we have observed over the years is that the executive has really not taken this office too seriously. That is why the budgetary allocations made to your office has been too paltry. So that even the objectives, the set objectives of having to check corruption and ensure that there is transparency in spending, government spending, we have not been able to achieve it over the years. Now we have come in, to some extent, I have perused the proposal for the 2019. Those gains that we seem to have even made in 2018, I don't know, they have been removed again. This was the same way the budget for 2018 was presented, before the National Assembly. And of course, we have to do, extra work because of our deep concern in achieving the aim, for which, of course, this office was established, that we have to make special representation to our appropriation committee, and of course to the leadership of the National Assembly before they agreed on certain things. I don't know if the executive has seen it, that it was not what is why. Now those gains that were made, we have thought, of course, they were going to do a repetition so that we want to, improve on those gains and consolidate those gains that they have resulted to, underfunding, your office again. I think, because of representation, we might still have to look at some of those things, with you, ask certain questions, so that, we will be well informed when it comes to the point of having to make, requests on your behalf. It is not only the responsibility of the Auditor-General Federation that, we enforce, transparency and accountability in public spending. It is the responsibility of, any legislature, particularly in our case, the National Assembly, that the oversight, that of course that is intended in public spending, that any legislator wants to put in place through, the Committee on Public Accounts, that all of us really must take it very seriously. And if we have to take it seriously, it behoves on each and every one, particularly those of you that are in the office, on the executive side, to ensure that this intention is met. And we too, as legislators on this side, we must enforce it, because we should protect you. We oversight you, and whatever we have to do when it comes to the structure of the office, enforcing harmonious working in the office, so that, of course, whatever the intention of government is met. The two arms of government, the executive and legislative arms of government, have been put in place to ensure this, and of course, anything that has to stand in the way for government objective not to be achieved certainly will be removed. So it's not an annual ritual for you to come in here and we say we're going to appropriate money, or we're going to advise, the National Assembly to appropriate money. That, of course, will not be able to meet any intention. The intention that is intended, that is to say that we want to ensure, transparency and accountability in public spending. We must see to it that it is sacrosanct, and that is what we have to do at all times. So, on behalf of my colleagues, I welcome you to this session. And it was because of the submission that was made to the Appropriation Committee of the Senate, and I don't see why government invests more money in fighting corruption rather than invest money in preventing corruption. This office is supposed to prevent corruption, but it is the only office that is grossly underfunded by the executive. Only yesterday, EFCC came to defend their budget, and they have 22 billion plus. I just let the budget defense now of ICPC. What they are asking for, what came from the executive, over 5 or something billion. And what they are asking for is almost double that. These are agencies that are fighting corruption. When, of course, the act would have been committed. But you, the Auditor-General's office, are supposed to do the work with proper expertise. I noticed that the executive is proposing only 3 something billion for your office. Of course, I don't know whatever assessment they are having of this office that warrants this underfunding. If government must be serious about preventing corruption in this country, they must invest heavily in the office of the Auditor-General of the Federation. Only some time ago, we were privileged to go to the audit office in the UK. And we saw the functioning of the place. We even went to their parliament. We saw how corruption is fought. We saw how transparency and accountability in public spending, is put in place. But here, agencies of government that have been in existence for about 10, 15 years have never had their account audited even once. And we say we are fighting corruption. That's just unfortunate. The only plausible reason for an agency of government not to audit its account, even the establishment acts of all the agencies of government, is very clear the issue of audit. That 6 months into the new financial year, all agencies must audit their accounts. And then, of course, this one, sent to the office of the General. When they are called, they are sent to us. And of course, we call them again to ask, any errant agency will be put to question why it has happened before the next budget year. But here we are doing it so lopsidedly in Nigeria. Agencies that have existed for 20 years in their establishment, they have not had their accounts audited. And year in, year out, they are, funds are appropriated to them. But I want to encourage you that you have to do your work. And I pray that the president signs the new audit bill, federal audit bill. Once that one is signed, this Tea Party that has been in place will be over. Because there are serious consequences that will meted out to those who will violate, the financial rules and regulations in this country. And again, I want to advise you, the Auditor-General, please, you and your management team, it must be very clear to you that your structure must be in place to ensure that the intention of ensuring transparency, accountability, and even economy in public, spending public funds, it must just be done. And this committee is now going to pay serious oversight on your office. All your management team want to be abreast with what you are doing, and we want to take it very seriously that this committee, the Senate committee, is the one of God that oversees all our committees, even in this country, because we are all linked, the National Assembly and the state assemblies, so that we are all on the same page when it comes to ensuring, probity in the public spending. Once again, on behalf of my colleagues, you are welcome. I'll quickly.
Mr. Chairman.